Hi. If you have an unmaintained burglar alarm, an external sound that is looking past its best, and you're thinking about how to change it, well, I'm going to show you how to change it to one of these. This comes from eBay and it was the cheapest one I could find. Let's open the box. Instructions, sounder, fixings. I also know on the back of the box is a template, so rather than try and hold the sounder up, you can use a template to drill your fixing holes. Let's have a look at the instructions. Tells you basic connections, things to do. Yep. How to connect two sounders. This will be the interesting part for most people. It's how to connect this sounder to a variety of panels. But to be honest, it's quite often easier than what most people think. Let's have a look at the sounder itself. Let's have a rough look at it first, and then I'll go into more detail shortly. From the top, here is the actual sounder itself. It's a speaker, but it's not your average speaker. Here's a micro switch, come back to that in a minute. Here's the main board, connections already made for you. This is where you connect it to your panel. The green bit you can see here, that's a battery. That is somewhat important. Down the bottom is a genuine xenon strobe. Flashes brightly. Here is a micro switch. What this is for is when the cover is on, it presses down on it to tell the alarm panel and the sounder that everything is all okay. If someone pulls it off the wall, if they can, then the micro switch operates, tells the sounder and the panel that it's been pulled off the wall. This is a battery. These last for years and years and years and years. They're not supposed to. They're supposed to be changed every 5 or 6 years, but no one ever does. But they do last for years and years and years. They just do. There's some jumpers on here. Depending upon what sounder you have, it may or may not have them. The other thing is, if I flip it over, you'll see here there's a funny looking cutout. The reason that is there is that it's to bring a cable in, so even if your cable is mounted say somewhere up here at the top, then the cable must come down, around, up and in. The idea being that if you didn't, then water could in theory run inside and ruin something. Probably won't, but there's always a possibility. So as it's there, you might as well use it. Cable round that way, in, and it comes in through the hole here, goes down there to your connections. Let's have a closer look at those connections. These ones are already done for you. There's no need to touch them whatsoever. These ones I'll come to very shortly. This is where you connect it to your panel. This particular one has some jumper connections. This particular sounder has jumper connections. SAB or SCB, worry about that later. This one here is a timer function. It's got an option of 15 minutes, 9 minutes and 5 seconds. Obviously depends upon which one you set it to, determines how long the sounder will actually go for, irrespective of what happens to it. Let's have an even closer look at these. I'll actually turn the sound around. From going this way to that, it says Tamper trigger positive negative STB. Again, that is tamper trigger pos neg STB. In essence, most external sounders only actually need 4 wires. 5 is nice, but most only require a minimum of 4. What you actually have is a positive and negative supply from the panel. So in that case they would go to here, positive, negative. Then you need another one to tell the panel that it's still here. That is called tamper. By still here I mean it's secured to the wall wherever it should be, and the cover is on and everything is all okay. Your sounder needs to know if the panel activates that it should start sounding. That is what the trigger terminal is for. Likewise, the strobe. If you want the strobe to flash, you need to connect the 5th wire to the strobe terminal. Here we are, as you can see. I've now fitted mine to the wall. But also, as you can see, I haven't connected it. Connecting it is actually very easy. But so you know which wire to connect to what, you actually need to refer to your panel. Let's go and look at the panel. Here we are. Here's the panel. You need to open it, but when you do, your internal sounder will probably go off. Mine won't, because I have no external sounder. I'm halfway through replacing it. There we go. Yes, it looks confusing, I understand that. But it's a bit like looking at a map, if you remember those. If you're going up to, say, Scotland, you're not interested in what is happening down at Cornwall. So likewise, most of this, we can ignore it. We actually want to find the bell connections. Let's look on the left. Oh, there they are. Bell connections. I shall zoom in for you. Here we have the connections on this particular panel. Yours will probably not be the same, but they'll be labelled very, very similar. We have negative R, negative positive, and then negative S. Being as I'm changing the sounder, it's already got connections to it. And in colour order, I've got blue, black, red, and then yellow. As I said earlier, your sounder needs positive and negative. As it shows here, positive and negative, which is black and red, standard positive and negative colours. Then, so the panel knows the sounder is still there, we have this one, the blue one, that is called tamper return, or return. And then over this side we have the last one, which tells the sounder when to activate. S for sounder or siren, whichever you wish to call it. So all we have to do now is connect these wires up in that order in the sounder. We won't need this anymore. Let's shut the lid and then connect the sounder. Now let's test it. Wonderful. Now I'm showing you the bottom of the sounder. You can't see the comfort lights. I should explain why I personally don't like them or the strobe. The idea of the strobe was to indicate which alarm was actually sounding. If you had multiple alarms in the street, you could hear the sound. You go, oh, it's that. No, it's not. There it is. It's the one with the light flashing. Fine. Time has evolved, and it's now become apparent that if the strobe is still going a couple of hours later, and sometimes days later, that actually means that yes, the alarm has gone off, yes, it's rearmed itself, but it won't call anyone if it needs to, and more to the point, no one has been out because the strobe is still flashing. Strobes stop when you turn the alarm off and turn it back on again. I will admit some of the very recent panels will actually turn the strobe off when the sounder stops, but this one doesn't. The alternating green lights that you can't now see are commonly known as comfort lights. They don't actually achieve anything in regards to the alarm. They are there for the sole reason of giving comfort to the user that the alarm panel is working. But herein lies the problem. If they fail, and people will say, oh, my alarm's not working because the lights aren't on. No, it's not true, it's just that the comfort lights failed. Something else to go wrong that need not be there, in my opinion. If you've liked this content, please give me a thumbs up. A subscription to the channel would be great as well. And as always, thanks for watching.